Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus Ancient Gladiator with now. Uh, this is going to count for the Deckworks playlist, but this is Stackworks. Making our stacks for Clout Fantasy. Yes. So, we're going to create two stacks using both the starter stacks and the boosters for the express purpose of doing a showdown video between the two. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to watch. So the question is, what two factions do I want to pit against each other? The starter stacks are elves versus undead and goblins versus centaurs. So it's between elves versus centaurs, elves versus goblins, centaurs versus undead, or goblins versus undead. What two do I want to do? I feel like elves versus goblins is kind of the low-hanging fruit option. But it's something. You know what? Screw it. So we're going to take the stacks that already exist for them. I have written down the original contents of each stack to figure out what I need to put back into the starters if I were to need to reassemble them. Yeah, I was considered it just a good point in case something happens that I can reassemble the deck. We're going to start out with the elves. So for a playable stack of Clout Fantasy, you will need to have exactly 15 chips. You will need to have 25 or less Clout points between them. And you need to have exactly 2 bases. The key to winning the game is consistently throwing. That you can get your units as close as possible to your bases within range. So anything within, let's see here. So bases here. This is range of 2. So everything within a 2 range of the base counts as +1. Even if it's the last chip you throw, it still gets a point for being within range of your base. Try not to lose your bases or you're very much screwed. Oh, hold on. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got and how to open up some more points to go for some higher cost things. So the Young Scout and the Deep Woods Bard are 0s for points. And they have Strike and they have Boost. Strike, remember, Strike is the basic attack in the game. Choose an opponent's troops within range and compare the defense to the strike value to remove that chip. So they can remove a 1 defense target. boost. Add the boost value to the attack abilities of any of your chips within range of this chip. It's a continuous ability. So we throw out the Deep Woods Bard. Close to the enemy, but not too close. And then we throw out the Young Scout and get them within range of the Bard and within range of a target. And the boost will make the strike at 2, which will work against a 2 defense. So those are the zeros. Our other options are... So let's sort it out from like cheapest to most expensive in terms of clout points. So those are the zeros. Ones. Deepwood's Seer also has counterattack and increased range. Forest Archer has a strike 2 and ignores fly. The Dryad, counterattack 1, strike 2, range 2, defense 2. Have Battle Maiden, War Charioteer, very powerful strike. Yeah. Deepwoods Mage. And we have Flaming Arrows for Siege. Siege 3. Forgot. Siege. Choose one of your opponent's relics or bases in range. So it's basically a strike against relics or bases. Yeah, one of the things that kind of annoyed me about this little base game, there are no relics at all. The only way to get relics is through some promotional shit. And now that it's rare, it's expensive. Our 2 bases are the Hidden Fort, which ignores... It's immune to Siege. And Supply Center, which is a boost 1. Which is basically as good as them, but actually worth something at the end. And then actual points total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 17, 21, 25. We have a 25 point limit. So let's get out all this stuff. All the options for troops and bases and spells. Actions. Good old getting caught up in the Magic the Gathering naming conventions. So we already have Hidden Fort, we already have Supply Center. We could replace one with the other and have 2 of something. Alternatively, we've got the cheap Forest Canopy if we want to make more space for better stuff. Or if we cheap out on units, we can go for the High Bridge. With 6 clout points and 8 defense. But it's also got a short range, so it's going to be hard to get. Unless you are consistent as hell, it's going to be real hard to get in range of that. But those are our other base options for the time being. And maybe we can think it over after we look at our unit options. I say units, it's troops, it is. That's another High Fortress. Okay. Actions. Forced fire, which raises. How does raise different from siege? We can play a number of bases and or relics. Within range equals to the raise value. Be closer. And then this hits all chips within range. That's just mean. Yeah, there's none immune to raise out of, well, unless you're playing, the undead. Something that is immune to raise. Open flare is a strike 2 and fly. Spike storm is strike 6 and fly. I'm not sure what kind of flying the goblins are going to have, but let's just have these nearby to figure out what more options we want to have available. More flaming arrows. So there's some just serious damage right there to work with. Divination, command 1, boost 3. No use for that one. Command 1, boost 1 with forced prayer. There's forced prayer and there's divination. Same thing, different capacity. Arrow attack, strike 3 and fly. Okay. So let's alright, so there's 4. Another Deep Blitz Mage. Alright. We will take the 2 most expensive units, or troops, and remove them per minute. And we'll throw in the Bard and the Scout. We'll drop the Battle Maiden for another Dryad. For the time being. Ranger, Hunter. A lot of one-ofs I like to find more of. This Kalia. Tree Guardian. Right. Poison Mushroom. Mushroom Sage. All the mushrooms. Trent. Alright. Trent. Alright. Yeah, let's just take out all but the most cheapest options we can go with for the time being, and see how much that opens up. We'll go from there. Place the archer with Mushroom Man. Place 2 of the Dryads with the Poison Mushrooms. And replace the Dryad and the arrows with Mushroom Sage. Alright. So this is at our absolute cheapest. This absolute cheapest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We can put in 16 extra clout points. The question is, how? We have absolute weak sauce. I mean, the poison mushrooms might be useful. The repulse might have some use to it as well. So what do we want to keep in mind? Repulse. Repulse moves troops away of the opponents. Actually, it affects all chips. Repulse everything. This, let's see here. Alright, so I wanted to put in another 16 points somewhere. The question is, what's important? I feel like having some kind of strike on demand is going to help. So this is going to be an extra 4 so far. So it's 12 more I can throw in. Where's maybe a better base? So there's 8. The thing is, it's going to replace one of these, and it'll actually give me a little bit more to work with anyway. We'll replace the forest canopy. So there's a +3. So I've got 13 more to work with. Figure out what else I can add. Let's go ahead and go ahead and drop a mushroom and a poison mushroom for these. The +3, considering that was the one that's getting replaced. So I believe I can add 10 more. Let's see here. 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15. So 10 more points to add. What are some things I can consider? Royal Trent has Ambush and Siege. Ambush is going to... whenever someone rests within range of the chip, they can compare the ambush value to their defense and potentially remove the chip. It's a strike you upon landing power. Add another 10. Replace this one and this one and this one. That's +8. That's +8. So that leaves me 2 more to work with. Is there anything special? Anything else special I wanted to do? Another +2 somewhere. Is there a 5-pointer I could replace one of these with? Could... +2. There's another way to get some extra points out of this. Going to replace the sage with the poison shroom. And then we'll replace the seers with the dryads. Better strike, better range, better defense at least. Okay. So we have 2, 4. We have 11 units, or 11 troops that are worth 0, 3, 6, 9, 10, 15. If I can get them in range of one of the bases, then they're worth an extra 1 each. As long as they're within range of one of the bases. And these two are immune to siege. We have the arrow attack. It's tempting, though. I'm going to replace one of the arrow attacks with forest fire so that I have something to deal with an enemy base. Regardless of whatever the defense is. But it requires absolute precision. I wonder if maybe I'm going to do without. Nah. Yeah, I'm not trusting my throwing ability. Don't make any other changes here. Could replace this with something lower. Replace 3 of these with 3 1s. No. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of options on that end. Let's mage. Thinking. Because replace 5 points. It's 4 points. And add another 0. So -4 +4 0. We'll go with the Deep Woods Mage and the Mushroom Mantra Pulse. People. Okay. So we have strike and boost and counterattack and strike, and ambush and siege, and poison and repulse. Strike will be an immune to strike. Immune to siege, immune to siege. Strike will fine. Okay. And that's 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 25. And it's 15 chips. Alright. So there's that stack. The Elven stack is good to go. Let's see here. See here. So we will add that to this little slot over here for the time being. Okay. So that's the elves done. We'll worry about sorting that shit out later. I was debating adding the command as a potential. can reactivate your chips with command. You don't rethrow them unless their ability requires you to do so. Alright. And now we go on to the goblins. Alright. So we've got Ordnance Fanatic, Sneak Attack, Assassinate, Secret Cave, immune to Siege. Might be worth holding on to. Okay, so here's where the goblins shine is team. Way team powers work. The values of all attack abilities for this chip are increased by 1 for each of your other chips with team within range. So this is a boosts your team's team abilities. So like War Buggy is strike 0 and team. If they were within the range of War Room, I would have the +1. And we had an underling within range of the War Room and the War Buggy. They're getting 2 to their strike. Trying to just gradually build up your horde of goblins. So, assassinate, destroy. You can use this to deal with troops, but we have to be very precise. Okay. So let's sort this out by points. 0s, 2, 1, 2, 2, and it's a base. They're in its base. 1. And the captain. Ravening Direwolf. Destroys 1. Can destroy multiple with team. It's pretty scary to deal with. Door Crasher. Yeah. The only problem I run into is I remember what I built out of this. I can probably just have it nearby as a reference point to say, hey, don't bring siege on this. So let's take a look at what we have for options. So this is our 0 stuff. When it's getting boosters for these, it's kind of hard to try to make anything different because I was pulling a lot of high point stuff and I've got no way to really work it in. So another Secret Cave. The Hurt Room. Boost 1 and team. Swill Station. Boost. War Room. Old Mines. Aversion. There might be something. Aversion. Opponent's troops lands within range. It must be rethrown once. It does not get rethrown again for someone else's aversion. Smasher. Covenant Warrior. Okay. War God's Chosen is a 0 cost. It's going to be something I'll look into for options. Sneak Attack is also 0. Assassinate. Mindless Attack. Destroy one of your own, destroy one enemy within range. That might be fun. Okay. So there's warning to rethrow one. Big magic. Let's raise some buildings to the ground. Right. And then units to work with. Let's find her. Tribal Champion. Counterattack 4, provoke, and team. Let's see if we can work that in. Provoke is... Let's see. When choosing the target of an attack ability, the player must choose a chip with the provoke ability first. The defense of 3 means they can tank pretty well. Figure out how to work on this expensive guy too at some point. Plains War veteran. Strike 4, counterattack 5 team. The Strike 4 has some other things to it. It can hit all enemies, but it takes itself out of the process. Shaman. Shaman's also 0, and it has command and unique. Cavern Guard. Rat Maze Loners. One strike and then die. Alright. Trapper. 0 cost provoke. 2 cost boom. Alright. Yeah, looking at all art is always interesting. A lot of the major names from the Magic the Gathering art. I was curious. Or Buggy. Caver. Watcher. Ravenous Warrior. Alright. So. Let's take this as far down in points as possible. Let's see what we can do. So, we drop the Watcher, the Direwolf, and the Captain for 2 Supreme Annoyers and a Shaman Rampoons. I'm sorry I can hear the noise. Hold on. Hold on. Anyway. So, take that down. Base lower. Take them out. 2 zeros. Take them out. 2 more zeros. Drop the War Buggy for the Caver. Alright. Okay. So let's see where we're at. Having basically bottomed out the points. So at this point, we're at 8 points. 8 clout. However, this is not a good position to be in. Let's start figuring out what's going to be the smarter thing to do. First off, the fact that they die after striking is dumb. Let's get right to work on adding in some better stuff. Rat Maze Warrior. Oh, ditch Shaman as well. Like him. So there's another 6. So we've gone from 8 to 14. So there's another 11 we can add. 14. Let's another 11. I'm going to drop the provokers for the tribal champions. There's another 8. So I have room for 3 more points. Let's see here. So there are 3 points. Replace sneak attack with mindless attack for the 3. Kind of nuts thing to do. What else? Alright. So anything else I would have to drop down points wise. Let's find zeros. If we drop a caver and a rat maze warrior for 2 rat maze loners. So that opens up 3 points again. Do we want to improve a base? Replace the war room with the hurt room, which is a boost 1 and team. Potential double boost. So there's 8, 11, 15, 16, 17, 25. 25, 15 chips. We have our stack for the goblins. Cool. I'll put this away for a minute. Yeah. Alright. And that is making stacks for Clout Fantasy. Put everything back in later. We'll go ahead and just move these out of the way for a minute. So, review the stacks and then think about the tactics of it, their strategy, and review how things might go. So, alright, so for the elves we have the Hidden Fort and the Treetop Fort, 2 Deep Woods Bards, a Deep Woods Mage, 2 Young Scouts, 2 Royal Trents, Poison Mushroom, 2 Arrow Attacks, 2 Dryads, and a Mushroom Man. We've got Strike, Flying Strike, Strike and Counterattack, Ambush and Siege, Strike and Immune to Strike, Repulse everybody, Ignore Siege, and Poison. What Poison does. Remove any chips without poison belonging to you or your opponents that rest within range of this chip. And salt the earth. So that's the elves strategy. Is strike, boost our strikes, prepare with ambush and counterattack. And then go with the Deep Woods Mage for a devastating hit. Meanwhile, for the Goblin side of things, we have Secret Cave, Hurt Room, 2 Underlings, 2 Rat Maze Warriors, 1 Mindless Attack, 2 Tribal Champions, 2 Cavers, 2 War Gods Chosen, and 2 Rat Maze Loners. So we have a good chunk of team power. Can boost the counterattack of the Tribal Champions, the Rat Maze Warrior, Underlings. They're resisting destroy or strike. We have strike 2 as an option if we need to take something out, but it's also at the cost of the chip. Thankfully, they're not clout points. They don't cost any clout points. As kind of a desperate situation measure, Mindless Attack will help. I don't mind losing somebody. And then, of course, Hurt Room is just a general good thing to have out early on. But wait for their power to drop low enough. And throw out the Secret Cave as a second option for wherever I have troops to make the most of them. Okay. That is Stackworks. The Deckworks episode for Clout, Tennessee. Next episode of Showdown. It's going to be between these 2 stacks. And it's going to be on my little square folding table. And it's less than a square meter, but it'll work for what I'm aiming to do. So, who do you think is going to win? Elves or goblins? You'll know for sure who wins when we get to that episode. Alright, thanks very much for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus. Sorry for all the interruptions. But we'll see you next time.